liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Marker will now read the names of any officers that have been murdered since our last meeting.
Police Officer Chris Oberheim of the Champaign Police Department, Illinois. And to watch Wednesday, May 19th, cause of death, gunfire. Detective Steve Arnold of the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, Louisiana. And to watch Sunday, May 23rd, cause of death, gunfire. Sergeant Dominic Vega of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office, California. And to watch Monday, May 31st, cause of death, gunfire.
Esther.
Gracious God, first we give thanks for those officers whose name we just mentioned, and we ask that you be with their families. Thank you for the freedom we have in our country, so that we have the freedom to be here to meet, and that we have the opportunity to publicly, freely speak our concerns. Thank you for the freedom to worship you and to be able to hold you dear. We ask that you be with the council members and citizens of Griffith as the town of Griffith is considered in their deliberations and conversations. Guide us all that we may be good citizens in order that the good of Griffith is evident. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Could we have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Jim Marker,
Present.
Councilmember Larry Balla,
Present.
Council President Rick Reifa,
Present.
Councilmember Moose Robbins,
Present.
and Councilmember Tony Hobson.
Right, each member's received the copy of the May 18th minutes. What's the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. Could we have the claims, please?
Claims 33417 through 33581, in the amount of $991,549.70.
Make a motion to approve as read.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. Could we have the announcements, please?
One announcement for this evening. The next town council meeting will be on Tuesday, June 15th at 7 p.m. There will be a study session before the meeting at 6:30 and one will follow if necessary.
All right. We have a couple communications today. Ms. Robbins, you have the first
I
one?
have the first one. I have a request from American Legion Post 66. They're having a fundraiser on Saturday, June 19th to raise money for the Legion. And they'd like to hang banners, one on Broad Street by the basketball courts and another by Berger Soccer Field. I'd like to make a motion that we approve them for 14 days total to hang up their banners.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. Mr. Bala, or Mr.
That was me.
Mr. Bala, you have the next item. Yes.
We've received a communication from the Hammond Waterworks Department directed to the Griffith Town Council. And this is a notice of a June 14th, 2021 public hearing on an ordinance amending the wholesale rates charged for water services to Indiana customer communities. They have a listing here of their proposed rate increases. I'll not read through them, but I'll leave my paper up here if anybody's interested. But that's, anybody can go to this meeting. It's at the Hammond Common Council Chambers at 5925 Calumet Avenue in Hammond. And that's June 14th, 2021 at 6 p.m.
And just a quick summary of the increases. I think we're paying in between around 46 cents per 1,000 gallons now, plus a small amount for capital improvements, somewhere in that ballpark. But the increase is starting in 2021 would be 95 cents per 1,000 gallons and increase up to $1.60 per 1,000 by 2030. All right, reports. There's no public works report. Police. Anything for fire?
Just a reminder, Saturdays are our cruise, Saturday night, 2 times.
Okay,
6:30.
great. Building commissioner?
No report, sir.
All right, and there's no finance report. This time we take an opportunity for anybody who has a public comment on any specific agenda items. If you have a comment on any of the agenda items before we vote on them, now would be the time to ask or comment, and there'll be time for comment after the meeting for general public comment. Yes.
I'm just a little curious, that's a double the rate that Hammond wants. I'm gonna be out of town, but is somebody from the town council going?
I think this is well past the debate part of it. We are months and months and months into negotiations with them through threats of lawsuits and all sorts of other stuff. So they are categorically raising the rates across all the communities that they service, which would be Highland, Griffith, Munster, Dyer, and Whiting. I believe they're raising they have raised them to their own residents as well.
I knew they did, but are they gonna raise it again like they're raising everybody else?
I think they got a much bigger raise than we would be looking at. So, yeah, there's been a lot of attorney billings throughout this, which isn't exactly the goal that we wanted.
And they haven't been raised since like 1985, so.
All right, so I guess we go to the first item of business, Mr. Marker.
Mr. President, fellow town councilmen, as we know, we've had 2 rounds of interviews for the currently vacant Public Works Director. At this time, I have the honor of making a motion that we hire for Public Works Director, Mr. Andy Rabb. Andy will be employed at $72,500 effective June 10th. I make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. I do see Mr. Rabb in the audience, if you'd like to stand up for a second, Andy. If you had like to make any comments or anything before, not to put you on the spot.
I'm really looking forward to it, and I appreciate the opportunity. And we got a lot of good things going on for the department now, and I certainly hope to just build on that and make us as efficient as possible, and just enhance what we've got and keep us moving forward. So I'm excited about it, can't wait to get started, and thank you for the opportunity.
All right, thanks, Andy.
Congrats.
All right, next would be the redevelopment authority appointments. This is a board that basically, I don't want to say they own the roads, but they own the roads for the purposes of a lease arrangements. We're currently in the process of refinancing or a lease, or we'll call it refunding a lease. I think we had this addressed at the last meeting. We're looking at savings of probably $300,000 to $400,000. So just need to reappoint members of this board as far as for the road parts of it goes. That would be Liz Gorell, Kurt Burrow, and Jeff Bridges. So they will be, 2 of them are on there and 1 will be a new appointment. And we will get them their appointment paperwork. Next is a public hearing. This is for the sidewalk programs we've talked about for the better part of the year. First one is a public hearing on the Series A sidewalk replacement bonds. This is the project that is east of the railroad tracks. Mason, can you hear us on there?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Oh, we can't hear you though. Hold on.
Is it turned up, Michelle?
Hold on. Can you turn the TV up?
It's not on mute, right? Okay. I've done that before. See, I got no problem.
All right.
Can you hear
Why
me
don't you say
now?
about 3 or 4 words? We'll see if we can hear you if we all stay quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Barely.
Do we have a cordless mic anywhere?
Do you know what?
You can hear 'em back there.
it through the other room. Yeah.
Okay,
Please
you know
stand
what?
by.
I'll just open up the other room. Hold on. They open the door, they'll hear me.
Please stand by for technical difficulties.
All right, how about now?
Yeah.
All All right, so what I will do is open up the public hearing for comment, and then if we can hear Mason, great. If not, we'll just give a summary what he's provided us with some reports already. So I'd like to open up public hearing for the Series A bonds, which is the East Sidewalk Program. Is there anybody that would like to speak for or against this project? Anybody have a comment for or against? Seeing no comments. Mason, you want to give it a try and just explain what this project was?
Yeah, are you able to hear me now?
If we can find a cordless mic, we can probably put it through there. I don't know where the mic is.
Disconnects it back there.
It's right in front of, Gina.
Is it charged?
That's the question.
Well, then we're gonna give it one more try.
Okay.
We're disconnect back there. Please stand by.
All right, let's give it a try again. Can you,
All right. Can you hear me now?
good enough.
Okay. All right. Would you like me to try to share my screen?
Gold guy.
Give it a try. We've got 3 identical projects, essentially, not identical, but very processed. So we'll just share the screen on one of them, and then we could, if anybody likes to see the other, we can do that.
All right. I believe I'm showing my screen now. If you could confirm.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. So with any issuance of property tax bonds over $5,575,000, we have to go through this process where we show the maximum effect on property taxes that this bond could have. The maximum being, let's see if it'll switch. There we go. Up to $11,755,000 is the maximum that this bond could possibly be issued for. Putting the maximum interest expense at just over $4 million would be outstanding for a maximum of 20 years. The maximum annual payment would be $850,000, making the maximum total $17 million. And the most that this could raise the tax rate would be 11.65 cents. The schedule here, currently the redevelopment authority doesn't have any outstanding debt levies. So the total levy would be that I'm showing the maximum of the 850,000. And we have a graphic here showing the 850,000. There is one other graph for the town station, the town hall and police station project that does have a few other bonds outstanding. So the graph is actually useful as opposed to this one is just a straight line. But that's all of the presentation for the Sidewalk Series A. Basically, this report is just to show the maximum effect on tax rates is 11.65 cents.
Okay, thank you, Mason.
Yep.
So last chance if anybody had a comment or question on the Series A public hearing. All right, the public hearing is closed. I'd like to open up public hearing on Series B, which is the west side of the railroad tracks for the sidewalk replacement program. Does anybody here to speak for or against it or have any questions? All right, Mason, is there anything different in this one that wasn't reviewed in the last one?
This one is exactly the same because the maximum amount is the same. So the only difference is it says Series B.
Okay. All right, one more time. Anybody would like have to remonstrate for or against it? All right, let the minutes show that there was no remonstrators. The public hearing is closed. I'd like to open up the public hearing for the Series C, which is the bonding for the police station, town hall, and fire station improvements. Mason, do you have anything that you'd like to add before we ask for remonstrators?
I just have another similar presentation.
Okay.
You said this was for the town hall?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So with this one, the town currently has 2 GO bonds outstanding, general obligation bonds. So this graph is actually helpful here. There's currently a general obligation bond 2009, which will pay off next year. That's the brown bar. And there's a general obligation bond series 2010 that will pay off in 2024, and that's that blue bar. Other than that, everything is exactly the same, as you can see, with the green bars just being a straight line with that maximum amount used.
All right, thank you. And you've looked at the fact that, there's 2 bonds falling off in the very near future that will certainly help minimize any additional impact on the town for the property taxes.
Correct, yes.
Okay. And I think those bonds from 2009, 2010 were the ones that were to rebuild Broad Street, to reconstruct Broad Street. One was the north end and one was the south end. So it's nice that those can be written off and paid off now. So good.
Yep.
So does anybody have any speaking for or against the police station, town hall, fire station improvement projects? Anybody have any questions? All right. The public hearing has been opened and the public hearing will be now closed. Okay. Very good. All right. One last thing, Gina, were we just making sure all the public, all the proof of advertising is in order?
I do have proof right here.
Okay, great. If we can please submit that with our minutes.
Mhm.
All right, Ms. Robbins, you have the next item, the second reading for the salary ordinance.
Of salary ordinance number 2021-18, an ordinance amending the salary and wages of the town of Griffith for the year 2021. Be it ordained by the town council of the town of Griffith, Lake County, Indiana, that the salaries and wages of the various officials and employees of the town of Griffith for the year 2021, an effective pay period beginning December 20th, 2020, payable starting January 7th, 2021, shall be as follows. We are changing the, under salaries and wages, we're changing the administrative assistant to town council being paid from general water and sewer to general seated and parks, leaving the salary range the same. And we are, this is the second reading, so changing for the park department, activities director will be removed from the park department, and we are raising the range for the part-time employees for the parks department. I make a motion that we approve these changes on the salary ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. All right. Mr. Bala's got the next one.
This is ordinance number 2021-21, ordinance of the town council of the town of Griffith, Indiana, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds for the purpose of providing funds to pay for certain park projects and incidental expenses in connection with therewith, and on account of the issuance of the bonds and appropriating the proceeds thereof. We talked about this at our last meeting. The amount of the bonds is $3,760,000 max. And it's for purchasing and upgrading our parks in town. This is the second reading, so I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2021-21.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. All right, Mr. Marker, you have the next item?
I do have ordinance number 2021-22, an ordinance amending section 14-106 fees generally of chapter 14 buildings and building regulations, article 2 building code division 5 fees and charges. Whereas the town of Griffith, Lake County, Indiana believes in the best interest of the citizens of the town and contractors working within the town, that the schedule of fees and charges be revised to be more user-friendly and easily understandable. Some general fees, the following fees to be charged by the town of Griffith for the inspections required and for the permits issued under its code of ordinances shall hereinafter be attained in this section as amended from time to time and shall replace any of all fees for inspections and issuing permits that are in conflict herewith. Project evaluation fees are based on a 1% evaluation of total project cost of materials and labor, $30 a minimum fee. Inspections, all inspections are 30, re-inspections also 30. Certificates of occupancy, residential 50, commercial 75. There's another page with a couple more small fees here to deal with here. This is the second reading of ordinance number 2021-22 for the fees and charges concerning the building department. I make a motion approving ordinance 2021-22.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. The last item, or next item would be Ms. Robbins.
I have ordinance number 21-25. This is the first reading, an ordinance amending Town Code Chapter 14, Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 1 in general, Section 14-2 entitled Building Department, and Section 14-3 entitled Building Commissioner, Office Duties, repealing all ordinances and the Town Code sections or part thereof in conflict herein, and the matters related thereto. We are changing section 14-2, Building Department. It will now read, there is created a building department in the town which is under the direct supervision of the town council. This department shall consist of the building commissioner, inspectors, clerical staff, and any such employees as may be necessary to properly enforce any and all applicable ordinances and codes in town. And section 14-3, Building Commissioner, Office Duties. Office, the building commissioner shall be appointed by the town council to serve until replaced by the town council and shall perform the duties defined in this chapter. The building commissioner shall be responsible for all activities of the building department and shall act on behalf of the town under the direction of the town council and not individually. We are changing it to that the building department is now under, the building commissioner is now under the town council. It was previously under the public works. This is the first reading on this.
Good, thank you. All right, Mr. Bowley, you have the last item.
I have ordinance number 2021-26, an ordinance amending chapter 74 of the Town of Griffith Code, adding Article 9 and authorizing the use of golf carts and recreational off-road vehicles on the streets and alleys of the Town of Griffith, Indiana, under specified conditions. This ordinance has definitions of what a golf cart is, driver's license, financial responsibility, and the definition of recreational off-road vehicle. It also addresses the financial responsibility of operating that golf cart and the place of operation, parking and storage, and some other things. This is a second reading. It's been a long time since we read the first one, but this is a second reading. So I'd make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2021-26.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. Any other business from the council? All right, under pending items, the sidewalk replacement program, we discussed the financing. And I believe right now we are in the bid gathering stage. Mr. McDermott, you understand if you've spoken to any of the engineers on this?
I have talked to them, it's been great, struck a lot of interest, a lot of contractors are reaching out, there's already been 8 plans handed out to contractors just to look at everything to study, which is a big deal, it's a high number. They're all working towards and they have a contractor meeting this Thursday, the 3rd at 10 a.m. in Town Hall here in the basement to go over the bidding process and what's going on with Jeff.
All right, well, that's good. That should be good news for the citizens too, because hopefully that relates to lower prices. So, all right, we do have no update on the Airport Advisory Committee. That'll be an ongoing project. So does anybody have anything else from the council? All right, this time open for public comment. If anybody has a comment or a question, just please state your name. All right, yes.
Hi, Joel Arnold. I'm just curious, this sidewalk replacement, is there anywhere, is there a plan like on the internet of what all is going to be replaced, or are we just in the early stages?
We are actually in the home stretch to getting it started. I'm guessing pretty much anything west of or east of Broad Street's probably replaced, real close to that. Almost everything west of Broad Street is. I believe we had ratings done with the town. They've walked actually several times and went back. I thought about 80% of all the sidewalks were rated as deficient. So if you live east of Broad, and certainly probably east of even Klein area, you're probably going to get into sidewalk. So I would strongly encourage any residents who come in for a sidewalk permit, and at least the building department have them informed that there is a program in place for a replacement for that.
What is the approximate timeframe of this work?
Gonna hopefully as the bids come in, we start late summer, early fall, and they will work as quickly as they can. And we've got completion dates in up to 2022, and I think possibly even in 2023. The reason we did that is it's in two projects right now. There's a very strong possibility that there could be two different contractors and they could work at the same time. Then again, it could be one contractor, and if that's the case, then they got the ability to do it over a couple seasons. So, well, the good thing is what we're hearing from the estimates are, say, I'm just throwing a round number out there. If you or I wanted to replace our sidewalks, say we have to pay $4,000. If we do it in this mass volume, we can probably get done for $2,000-ish. So we used to have a 50-50 program that was funded with very few dollars. So this is basically a 50-50 program that the residents get their part paid for free. So it's great. It's a win for everybody. So, all right. Any other, yes?
Just one confirmation, I did not. For the golf cart orders, want to confirm that does not include bike trail.
They're not allowed, and Sherry, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they are not allowed on the pavement of the bike trail. They can go adjacent to the bike trail on the grass, but they should not be on the bike trail themselves.
Michelle.
Okay. All right. Any other comments or questions? All right. One thing we did not have in the announcement is there is an Independence Day Parade July 3rd at 12 noon. That is a Saturday. And the reason we're doing it is July 4th is we always set up at St. Mary's on the Sunday, but they do have Mass on Sundays now. So it will be on July 3rd at noon. And the parade will go from Ash Street in Broad all the way down south to Broad in Maine. There will be an extra central market that day that'll be opening around the time the parade is ending or shortly before. And that will go from 1 until I think 10 o'clock on July 3rd. There will be a fireworks show at 9:30. Is that correct, Michelle?
Yes.
Okay. So there'll be an expanded fireworks show for the first time that we can remember in recent history. And we have an actual 4th of July fireworks. So we will be having one on July 3rd. So if everybody wants to plan accordingly. All right. Any other comments or anything else? All right. The meeting's adjourned.